3. The Deal. A few days before graduation. Alex. Quickly sitting up on the bed, I looked at the clock. I hadn't heard from Quinn. I thought of him and what Quentin had done to him. I wondered if he was okay. Tossing the sheet off me, I pulled my feet over the side of the bed and sat on the edge, contemplating all those things that had happened up until now. The incident with the 3 at the party, seeing Claudia being taken by Quentin. It was a relief to see her again at Milton, but I had missed my chance to give her the crystal. I didn't know what to do. My only other option was to talk to the Venator. He loved her and was willing to protect her, even from his employers. I huffed. Prom was coming up, and soon it would be graduation day. I glanced over at the closet. Hanging on the door was the graduation gown with its matching cap. There was no way I could go. Could I? The charm on my arm started glowing, and I glanced down as the blue light reflected from my wrist and caught my attention. It was glowing a pastel blue. It was a warning that I needed to go. I had to give Claudia this crystal. It would keep her safe until I could figure out what I needed to do, but I would need Quinn's help. Graduation was my best chance to see Claudia. Or maybe prom. That might be even better. I slowly rose off the bed and approached to admire the graduation gown. How many times had I attended prom? Graduated? Each time it was a different school. I was always looking, searching, but maybe I had just been waiting. Now, the moment of truth was here. I couldn't fuck it up. A sound from downstairs caught my attention. I'd almost forgotten the old lady, June. I quickly hurried to the bedroom door. She must be up now. What's wrong with you, Alex? You know she needs you. What would I do when the time came that I couldn't be here, that I had to leave? I couldn't leave her all alone. I didn't want to think about it, but I couldn't simply forget her. She needed someone to take care of her. No one even knew she existed. I walked down the long hall on the second floor and down the stairs. June, I'm coming. I'm sorry. Don't worry, I'll get breakfast ready. I came into the kitchen and found it quite empty. On the floor was a pot. Shit, now I was worried. What if she tried to make something and hurt herself? I came around the island, but I only found the pot. I picked it up and set it on the counter, looking around. Nothing else seemed to be out of place. Quinn? I immediately thought. Quinn, is that you? Look, I need you to stop this, please. I need your help on something. I know we haven't talked much about why I had to leave, but you know why. Why do you pretend you don't care what happens? This involves you too. Quinn? It was too quiet as I walked into the living room. June? You there? June was in her seat. The TV was on low, and she was staring at the screen, lost in her soaps. There was a cup of tea on the side table beside the sofa. She turned just as I stepped through the arched entrance and gave me a smile. She was so warm and alive, I almost teared up, and again at the idea of leaving her alone. It ate away at me. Oh, June, you scared me. Were you in the kitchen a minute ago? She blinked back over. She seemed entirely not there. I expected that. Then she smiled as if she had just recognized me. But I knew that was not true. Perhaps maybe it was a memory from her past, when Jessie would say the same thing to her. What's that, dear? Nothing, I whispered, shaking my head, and smiled, wondering how she had gotten the tea. Did you make the tea all by yourself? That would have been me. A man's voice so clearly answered from the other side of the room on the recliner. I was looking for a tea kettle. I thought I'd make some coffee, but she wanted tea. So, yeah. I gasped, glancing back. Dr. Mueller? No. Joseph, the guardian. That's right. That's me, you know, he answered. Hello, Maya. Long time no see. I lifted my hand as a warning, Joseph raised a finger and wagged it at me. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Joseph pointed over toward June. On her shoulder was a spider with a needle set close to her throat. I recognized what it was, having seen such things before in my many years of running from the company. I lowered my hand back down. That's a smart girl. Joseph smiled over. What do you want? He winked and grinned wide. What do you mean, dear? June asked. Oh, I forgot to mention we have a visitor, Jessie. It's Jerry. The guardian smiled wide. Jessie, huh? Joseph asked, with a big grin. Nice place you got yourself here, he said, looking around as he rose from the recliner. She doesn't know anything. Don't hurt her. Not that it would have mattered to him. Joseph was one of them. Relax, Jessie, he mocked. I'm not here to hurt anyone. It actually all depends on you. I glanced at him quizzically, then looked over at the old woman watching the TV screen. We might as well not have been there. She was absorbed into the show. Is she always like this? Joseph asked. I didn't answer. He walked towards me, forcing me to move back into the kitchen until we were both standing on opposite sides of the island, glaring at one another. I have a proposition for you, Joseph said. Go to hell, I growled. Seriously? All I have to do is give the order and the old lady gets it. I really don't want to have that on my conscience. Killing old people is not my thing, but I got a job to do. Suddenly you have a conscience? I sneered. Joseph smirked. Come on, be nice. I'm actually here to help. This might benefit you, too. I gave him a stern look. What the fuck was he talking about? He leaned over the island. I moved back. I didn't trust him. I couldn't read him with that stupid watch he was wearing. I wasn't sure if this was all some sort of trap of his. I know what you're thinking. Me help you? Joseph laughed, then caught me looking at the watch coming from the inner side of his suit sleeve. He adjusted the dial. You see, I know you're here for a reason. You know who or what the source is? I tried to contain my expression from revealing anything of what he was saying. I'm not telling you anything. He knew something already, so what was he looking for? Look, I already know. Why don't you try to be truthful? I can make things very bad for the old woman. We can either do this the hard way or the easy way. I myself like the easy way. But... I glanced back over to the living room, worried about June. Just out of curiosity, who is the old lady? He watched me momentarily. It delighted him to know that I was up against the wall. You already know that. He laughed out loud. It startled me. Yeah, I do, he admitted. But who is she to you, Maya? A distant relative? I didn't say anything. I already knew he knew more than he was revealing. This was a game to him, to see what I would say. He wanted to know if I would be truthful. No, I didn't think so. She had a daughter by the name of Jessie. She's the one on that picture on the mantel. Jessie died in a car accident. Just didn't come home one day. That sucks. Didn't live here, so there was no one to let anyone know the old woman was here. What happened? Did you just happen on this place by accident? Good place to hide away. That is, if you're hiding from people. I don't know what you're talking about. Joseph knew I was lying. We both knew. Come on. How long are we going to continue this? He furrowed his brow, wrinkling a slim lip sideways. He was right. Why hide any more when it was obvious? He already knew everything. I was tired of running anyway. No, Jessie died in the hospital. She was my teacher. She talked about her old mother. When she didn't return to school, I found out she was dead. No one else knew she had a mother. Only me. Mrs. Holtzman was a very private person, Joseph said. His words didn't surprise me. She had been. She was hiding from an abusive ex-husband. He found her and ran her car off the road. What Joseph didn't know was that I had found him, and I made him pay by sending him over the side of the road into a tree. I didn't even have to do anything but tell him to get in and drive the car right into the tree head-on. It was easy to do after what he did to Mrs. Holtzman. Yeah, I answered. But for some reason, she relied on you. Odd. Joseph grinned as he moved toward the refrigerator. He opened it, found a yogurt, and grabbed it. Then he started going through the drawers, looking for a spoon. I moved the last drawer with my mind, opening it. He stopped, glanced back, and smiled. He walked over and plucked a spoon from inside. Thanks, he said, helping himself. Joseph dug into the yogurt like he hadn't had lunch, which I'm sure he hadn't. Those guys worked like they were aliens themselves. He took 4 large scoops and was done, dunking the empty container into the sink. I gave him a look. Seriously? I walked over to the sink and picked up the empty container and tossed it into the trash. You don't have to make a mess just because you don't live here. Joseph set the spoon on the island counter. I summoned it to my hand. It flew into the air and then into my palm. I set it into the sink. He didn't even flinch. Our little mind tricks were old news to him. He had seen it all before. June appeared in the kitchen entrance. She had a cup in her hand. Oh, Jessie. She glanced over at Joseph. You didn't tell me Jerry was here. Joseph glanced back. I caught the spider attached to the fabric of her blouse and cringed. Oh, you've gotten so big. It's been a long time. I tried to move over to her, but Joseph stopped me. No, Jessie, don't worry. I got this. He took the cup from her hand and set it aside. Oh, you were always a good boy, June said. Joseph smiled like an overgrown toddler getting a treat for his good deed. Would you like more tea, ma'am? She looked disconnected, but I was used to that. She went off to another place, maybe a place where Jessie and Jerry, the people she thought we were, a place in happier times. Joseph refilled her cup and added 1 spoon of sugar. She took the cup. I think I should help you back to the sofa. Now, Jerry, I might forget a few things in my age, but I'm very capable of doing this myself. She had sass. Sorry, ma'am, Joseph said. Now, do you kids need anything? We're good, June, I said. Okay, then. Call me if you need me. She wandered back into the living area with her cup of tea and slowly disappeared. For a moment it was quiet. Only the sounds of the TV coming from the living room kept this place alive. Obviously you haven't turned me in, so the question is, what do you want? I said over the creepy silence. Joseph looked around the kitchen, scratching his nail on a mark on the countertop of the island. So, you ready to listen? I guess. Do I really have a choice? Joseph flashed me a smile. I just need your cooperation. This can work for the both of us. I gave him a frown, waiting for what would follow. Whatever it was, I knew it wouldn't be good. Joseph had stopped smiling, and his expression took on a more serious tone. I'll just come out with it, Joseph began. I know what Claudia is. She's the source, and I know you know, and that's why you're here. I tried to contain my expression, but that was hard to do. He knew, and that was scary. Does he know? I immediately asked the lingering question. No, Joseph said. Look, I don't want to hurt her. I laughed. He looked irritated. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's true. She saved my life, and John, my potential, is in love with her. I rolled my eyes. He looked at his watch. Crazy, huh? I know, but he's not letting her go. I want to unite them. But Dr. Nicholson... He paused. You need me to lure him away, send him the other direction. Is that what you want? Yeah, Joseph said, as he checked his watch again, thinking that maybe I was reading his mind. So you want me to turn myself in, to help you? That was his plan. I knew I had no choice if I wanted to save Claudia. Did he know just how important she was to me? I don't think he did. She means something to you, to all mind-benders. He knew that much, anyway. She's more than something, I said. Exactly. So, help me. If I do this to save Claudia, can I trust you'll leave her alone? Joseph walked to the entrance of the kitchen. He seemed to want to search my refrigerator again. Of course. I don't want to hurt that girl. His voice softened. Strangely, I believed him. I didn't know if I was getting too trusting, or if it was because I would do anything for Claudia. If I can offer him something, like a possible sighting or a clue that the source is not here, I can help John. So it's actually for him that you're doing this? I said, staring back over at him. Joseph exhaled, having been caught, and avoided my eyes. He kept his eyes focused toward the living room. I suppose so. Maybe it's a little of both, he said. Does it really matter? Yes, and no. Not as long as Claudia is safe. Nothing else matters, or is more important to me. Tell me, why is Miss Bell so important to you mindbenders? I can't even begin to understand why Dr. Nicholson needs the source, but why do you guys seek her so devotedly? Did I know? All my existence I had been drawn to the source of the energy, to a greater force, a power bigger than me. It was something I felt connected to. Quinn felt it too, but denied it. He didn't want to care about it. He wanted to separate himself from everything, not out of fear, as someone would think, but out of pain. Pain he would yet again lose it, and that hurt a lot more. I could understand that. He was among the last of his kind, especially since Quentin had gone insane. She calls me, I admitted, but I didn't want to say more. He wouldn't understand what else she was to me. A distant relative. My granddaughter. Joseph nodded. Then we have a deal? I approached him as he stood under the kitchen arch. Just do me one favor. He narrowed his gaze over. The look made me wonder if he would deny me my last request. Sure. Joseph huffed loudly, like the question was bothersome. Can you make sure the old woman is taken care of? He looked surprised. Seriously? You don't even know her. What's so special about her? She's a nobody. She's special to me, and somebody to me. Promise, I demanded. It took a moment as he stared at me. Then he answered, I'll have it taken care of. She'll be in good hands, I promise. I was satisfied with that. Graduation night came. I met Joseph after the event. He made me take an Uber to a nearby cafe. I was drinking a latte when he entered the cafe. He made eye contact with me as he ordered a Danish before joining me. Don't they ever feed you? I said, as he came to stand by my table. He shot me a slight frown, chewing at the Danish and getting crumbs on his tie. Then brushed a hand over the fabric before he answered. Okay, smartass, you ready? He took another bite of his Danish. I drank the rest of the latte before I got up and followed him out to his car. He watched as I stood by the front passenger door, waiting for him to open it. What do you think you're doing? Back. Joseph pointed. I huffed with a frown and opened the back passenger side door and climbed in. He took the front seat and spun back to give me instructions. I glanced at the seat to my left. Sitting on it was the same collar the company's hunters called the dog collar. "Put it on," he instructed when he caught me looking towards it. "You're kidding, right?" Joseph gave me a long look. "No, I'm not." I didn't move. He exhaled hard and spun back to the front and put his hands on the steering wheel. "I thought you wanted to help Miss Bell," he said. I rolled my eyes, giving him a long, guarded look. "There is no other way. He has to believe it," Joseph said once more. I huffed and grabbed the collar. It was a foreign, dangerous thing to me. I had worn it a few more times than I'd like to. "Just place it on your neck. It'll do the rest on its own," Joseph said. I didn't like it, but I did what he asked. As soon as I placed it on my neck, it curved around my throat and locked in place. The lights on it flashed and secured. I expected to lose control immediately, but nothing happened. Joseph was watching me from the rearview mirror. "It's not on the mind-bender frequency, but you have to play the part or he'll suspect something," he explained. "He's not an idiot, you know. Fair warning." "Got it. I've dealt with him before. I know what he's like," I sternly replied. "Right. Just be cautious. And make it look convincing. Don't make me look bad." I flipped him off. "Just lay back on the seat until I order you out." "Got it. Let's go." Joseph inhaled and pressed his lips together tightly. He looked more nervous than I did. I laid in the back seat of his Mercedes as we drove. As I laid there, I considered what I was doing. There was still a chance to escape. I mean, could I even trust this guy? Did I have any choice? Was this what I was meant to do? I could see the sky from the window, some building roofs, trees, a fence. I felt car tires riding the gravel as we entered the parking lot. The vehicle was moving slowly. "Okay, here we go," Joseph said. I looked towards the front seat at his figure at the wheel. For a moment, he just sat, waiting. Then he reacted as if he had been summoned. "Remember, follow along." I said nothing, and took my position as a captive under the control of the dog collar. I would have to play along for now.